Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger and my friends. EVO 2022, as of the time of making this video, is next week. Yeah, it's like right around the corner. And of course, with every EVO, and this is the first in-person EVO we've had in a whiles, but with every EVO comes the big announcements. Sure, there's the great matches, there's the great moments, and not to take away from any of them, but a lot of us, we need those announcements. Like, that's just how we are. We're driven by it. The marketing has worked, and we are slaves to what's coming next. So, that said, that's exactly what this video is. What can we reasonably, and perhaps unreasonably, expect to be announced at EVO 2022? So, in terms of the main event of announcements, I know a lot of people are looking forward to Street Fighter 6 specifically. And what can we expect out of Street Fighter 6? We know the game's on site. There'll be a playable demo on the show floor, is my understanding as well. And naturally, they're going to showcase something, right? This is Capcom's time to shine here. So, it's a character trailer that we haven't seen before, likely? Yes, I say that's a given. And not only that, I'm going to call it that there's going to be more than one. Like, say we get like the E-Honda trailer, right? But no, it's not going to stop there. I believe there will be multiple character trailers, at least multiple character reveal trailers on site at EVO 2022. Not necessarily like showcasing the entire roster, and we do know what the whole roster is, right? But still, I think at bare minimum 2 characters, if not more, will be revealed with proper gameplay and all that on site for Street Fighter 6. Also, they've made hints on how they want to make the game playable for people who can't attend all the shows. That's basically saying like some manner of beta. And if there's ever a time to announce a Street Fighter 6 beta, EVO is it. There is no better time. There is no better place. If it's going to happen at all, it will be at EVO. Of course, if it happens at all, right? So, key thing there. It might not happen. Moving on, what about the King of Fighters 15? So, we have Team Awakened Orochi, and they'll be dropping shortly after EVO, I imagine. And my understanding is also, if you're at EVO, they will be playable on a demo booth on the show floor. So that's cool. You get to try them a little bit before they come out. But obviously, we still have a whole another set of 3, a whole other team to go through. And even if we already kind of know who they are, because it leaked out a long time ago, you know, they still have to be officially announced, officially showcased. And EVO, especially because they have, you know, an autumn/fall release, would be a good place, a good, you know, showcase for it. Because you're going to have more eyeballs here than, well, anywhere else, right? That said, can't rule out a surprise either. Like the roadmap here. So if you recall, Rugal was a shock addition. He was never officially announced till he was just kind of thrust upon us, right? Right after the first DLC. So now we're going to have 2 DLCs coming. Who's to say there won't be an additional surprise update? Maybe it's a boss rush edition, who knows, because we do have Team Orochi here, the real versions of Team Orochi. And what are they all about? Well, it's about your boy Orochi, right? So who knows? He could be added as the boss mode, boss rush edition. I don't know, but I'm saying that just what's there on paper might not be what's there in the end, is what I'm trying to hint at. For sure, could be wrong, but I feel there's a chance that SNK will do right by us. Naturally, another game to look at is Multiversus. So Multiversus obviously now kind of just came out, kicked everyone's butts, taking names, right? And it's going to have that giant 2v2 showcase tournament at EVO. Technically not a main stage tournament, but there's definitely a lot of money on the line, right? And this being the big fighting game weekend, I feel Multiversus, there's definitely a lot more characters to come. This would be a good place to showcase them. And just like, hey, here's the new trailer. This character will be out on XYZ date. Here you go. I don't know if it'd be too much more past that, but I feel at the bare minimum, just a character reveal or 2 or 3 or who knows, right, is in line at EVO for Multiversus. In a lot of ways, this tournament's going to be a big advertising event for Multiversus because they're really good at the advertising. Like this open beta we're in is actually, honestly, it's launch, right? Just open beta is a nice term they're using instead. So this is a good place to do the marketing for it. What about Guilty Gear Strive? Guilty Gear is the most entered game at EVO 2022, and as such is basically main eventing EVO. The top 8 for Guilty Gear will be the final set of games at EVO this year. So obviously they got something, and one of them's easy enough, right? Whatever the first DLC character of Season 2 of Strive will be, will almost certainly get showcased here. It could be Sin. Sin's a very safe bet, let's put it that way. It could be someone else, who knows, right? And also they have that crossplay beta. It was announced to happen sometime in summer, and we're starting to run out of summer to put it into, let's put it that way, right? So the announcement of whenever the crossplay beta between PlayStation and PC happens is, I would say, a lock here. Maybe not necessarily, oh, it's the next day, but at least we'll get a time frame of when this is going to go down. Also, since Arc System Works is going to have the final stage, the final place to show stuff, maybe there might be the first showcase of a DNF Duel announcement, like the first DLC character for DNF Duel. And maybe if they had all new projects to show off, this would definitely be the place to do it, because they have the main event stage at EVO this year. Skullgirls, my understanding is the final character of the Season 1 pass of Skullgirls will be revealed at EVO. And also, at the bare minimum, we should see a more complete version of Black Dahlia as well. So, Skullgirls getting its Season 1 pass, 10 years into his lifespan. Interesting strategy, but it's working, right? Skullgirls still doing pretty decently, all said and told. So, good on them, and we'll see whatever that final character is. Of course, we have to mention Project L, right? Like, that's a given. And will it finally show up here at EVO 2022 to give us at least some new gameplay? Because this specific clip you're watching here, I know you've seen it a million times by now, right? But we don't got anything else. And I feel that's pretty much a given. They have said at least 2 times they promised us in 2022 they would showcase the game off, and we're already halfway through the year. So EVO, good as place as any, especially because, once again, the people in charge of the project are the original founders of EVO. So more than a little bit of a link there, to say the least. So get new gameplay. I don't think we're going to get a release date or anything like that. That's still very far in the future. But at the bare minimum, yes, gameplay, hopefully a new character or 2. And one thing I'm actually very much hoping for is they finally give it a name. We've been calling this Project L for a long time, and, when the game's out and you see the box art and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to say Project L, it's going to be whatever the real name is, and I think at bare minimum, it's time for a real name for the game. So, let's get some more gameplay, let's get another character or 2, and let's get a real name going on. Now, what about all new games? Now, we're looking at Mortal Kombat right now, you're seeing Shang Tsung, right? Mortal Kombat 12 is coming. Like, I don't know how many times I have to keep telling you guys, but it's coming. And to be honest, up until a couple days ago, I didn't think it would be coming, announced at EVO. I figured the Game Awards later this year. Mortal Kombat and NRS have a history with like the Jeff Keighley aligned events. So I figured that would be the place until I saw this tweet here. So Mortal Kombat will soon be in its 30th year as one of the most iconic franchises in video game history. And by the way, it turns 30 this October, just so you know. To celebrate, tell us your favorite MK memory, film, game, otherwise, and don't forget to tune into the epic competition in store for MK11 Ultimate at EVO. So here's the thing. A very specific call out on the 30th anniversary. This is what MK12 is going to launch up in line of the 30th anniversary. And it's the only tweet like that on the entire EVO account. There's no tweet saying, hey, what about your Skullgirl memories? What about your Grand Blue memories or your Street Fighter or anything, right? This is the only tweet like that on the account, which means to me it's marketing, right? So now I feel while it's not necessarily a guarantee, there is a chance Mortal Kombat 12 might actually show up and be revealed at EVO 2022. And finally, if there's a time and there's a place for Tekken 8 specifically, EVO's got to be it. Tekken 7 getting long in the tooth, right? And, so other games like Street Fighter, and Street Fighter's getting Street Fighter 6, right? And not only that, Tekken 7 is older than you think because it was out in the arcades for a few years before it hit consoles. So you gotta think it's in development, and I think it is in development, and I think this is the time to show it. If not, then man, like Tekken 8's gonna be way the far away, right? But I think Tekken 8, who knows what'll be there. I don't even know if they necessarily would even have like gameplay. It might just be like a cinematic trailer. But Tekken 8, I feel, is a lock for EVO. And those are my thoughts, and those are my predictions. So agree or disagree, post in the comments below. And if you got your own thoughts on what might show up at EVO, absolutely let everyone know. Other than that, though, well, that's it for the video, my friends. We're at the end. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.